Over winter break, a petition started circling around social media calling for Notre Dame to accept high school American Sign Language courses for the foreign language admissions requirement. The petition seemed to pop out of nowhere, but for Jill Maudlin and Caitlin Papalia, the petition is just another step in a long fight for ASL acceptance at Notre Dame.
My name is Jill Maudlin. I'm a sophomore living in Ryan Hall, Ryan Go Bra, and I'm studying neuroscience.
Hi guys, I'm Caitlin. I'm a junior living in Ryan Hall and I'm studying biology.
Great. And you guys are both involved in this initiative to get ASL more involved in campus admissions and the curriculum, but you got involved in different ways. So Caitlin, why did you get involved in this issue?
Yeah, this is something that's very near and dear to my heart because I grew up with two deaf parents, so my first language at home was American Sign Language. And I took American Sign Language in high school and did all the courses that everyone else has to do for their world language requirement. But then when I got accepted into Notre Dame, there was a little bright red text at the bottom of my admissions letter that said that I did not meet all the requirements for admission, and that meant that I had to take 2 levels of Spanish over the summer to fulfill that requirement. The reason why Notre Dame doesn't actually currently accept American Sign Language as fulfilling an admissions requirement is because it is not taught here. At least that's the reason that admissions gave Jill. So one could also argue that it's just like the time and the money that it takes to set up the department, as well as something like that, what you said, that it just wouldn't be a world language because it originated in the United States. Some people could also argue like maybe the syntax or the grammar or the culture isn't distinct enough because, again, it originated in the United States. But as someone that's a native speaker, I can argue against all those things. Like, I know that ASL has a distinct grammar, syntax, culture that's been proven. Deaf culture is a big thing. I'm heavily immersed in it, like growing up with 2 deaf parents. So yeah, I also, origins of ASL, it actually started from French Sign Language.
Oh, okay.
So it's a little bit different than some people might think. It's not directly derived from English.
Okay, so it is.
It's completely different.
That's the argument. It is a foreign language, for sure.
It definitely is a world language.
Definitely
yes.
overseas.
Yes.
No, so looking at other universities, have there been other universities who have had similar, debates over ASL as a language requirement or teaching ASL? Would Notre Dame be the first one to accept ASL as a foreign language as a department?
There are so many other universities out there who currently have American Sign Language. So there's this thing called the American Association of Universities. And Notre Dame is not a part of it, but would like to be a part of it. So we can, kind of compare our data to that. So 95% of universities within the American Association of Universities actually do accept American Sign Language as a world language for their admissions requirement. And then 63% of those universities offer a free proficiency exam for American Sign Language. And then 75% of those universities actually teach it on their campus.
And these are all American universities?
Yes. So to say that Notre Dame is like an odd one out is like kind of an understatement when 95% of universities actually like accept it.
So Notre Dame would not be the leader in this in any regard?
No, we're falling behind on it.
Yeah.
Papalia first published an essay titled American Sign Language, Why Notre Dame Should Validate My First Language, about the need for Notre Dame to accept ASL for the high school foreign language admissions requirement when she was just a freshman in 2021. Over a year later, in October of 2022, Maudlin presented a resolution to the Student Senate advocating for ASL acceptance by the admissions department. But the resolution was shot down. In October 2022, when Jill, you went to the Senate to try to pass a resolution, and the resolution, it was only about having ASL accepted for the admissions requirement to Notre Dame. And you got shot down.
Yes.
I was reading the minutes on it, and there were a few points that stuck out to me. One of the senators who spoke up, he's actually running for student body vice president right now, Hunter Brook, and he said from the minutes, I'm quoting, I think we should meet with administrators and figure things out first. This resolution poses a big request, and the fact that it takes up less than a page is concerning. And then Madison Nemeth, who runs Judicial Council, is currently overseeing the student body presidential elections. She echoed this belief as well, that you need to meet with administrators first because there's no way to measure the success of this proposal. So since October 2022, when you brought this proposal to the Senate, have you talked to the administration or any other organizations on campus to kind of circumvent that, or have you chosen a different approach?
No, we have definitely benchmarked and talked to administrators. So we looked at the AAU. This is where we got the data. We talked to all of those colleges. There are like 65, 70 colleges in the AAU.
Wow.
So we talked to all of them. And also, on terms of how short the resolution is, yes, because we were only asking for the high school admissions requirements to be waived for ASL to be accepted for the admissions requirement. And so it was a short resolution. I also emphasize that the senator that brought that up has written equally short resolutions in the past. So yes, we have talked to administrators, we have benchmarks, we've reached out to faculty at other universities who have accepted ASL and to talk to them about how they went about that, what came from it, and how they recommend we do it at Notre Dame.
Now, in a third effort to amplify their cause, the women have organized the petition that gained traction on social media over the recent winter break. How's that petition doing? Because I know it is still live, it's still active. Is there a goal to how many signatures you're going to get? And once you reach that goal, how close are we to that goal, first of all? But once we reach that, where do we go from there? What are you going to do with that data, with those signatures?
So our initial goal was actually about 500 signatures, and right now we're at about 1,700. So
you're doing pretty well.
Yeah, so it's going
actually really well.
Yeah, students have been very supportive of this initiative. And so our next steps are to talk to St. Mary's, because St. Mary's offers 2 semesters of ASL, so it's not great for Notre Dame students because it doesn't fulfill our requirement. I don't know much about St. Mary's, but I believe it doesn't fulfill their requirement either. But we're talking about them, like how they've structured their classes, to get more information on that. And then we're taking that information to the Center for Study of Languages and Culture, or the CSLC.
Wow. That's great, and you definitely have a path schedule out there. I didn't know about St. Mary's having ASL classes, but that's really interesting that they offer it and Notre Dame does not. When asked about their end goal and how they plan to work with other student leaders and administrators, this is what they had to say.
We would love for people to get involved. You can email me. My full name is Jill Maudlin, and my email is jmaudlin at nd.edu, or you can DM us on Instagram, which is at disabilityjusticeND.
And sign the petition.
And sign the petition.
Yeah, more signatures, please.
In light of the ongoing student body presidential elections and the increased pressure on Notre Dame to be more accessible, NDTV will continue following this story, and we thank Jill and Caitlin for taking the time to sit down with us. For ND Sunrise, I'm Elise Dahoney. Now back to the desk.